Hello everybody, and welcome to day one of the Mediterranean diet and lifestyle immersion. So it's about noon right now. I kind of got a late start to the day, and for breakfast I just had a slice of Italian bread, which I'll cut in a picture here, and I just put some cherry jam on it that I had bought at the farmer's market. So right now I'm going to the supermarket. Actually, I'm going to go to two supermarkets because one has a better selection of greens and a better selection of fish, so I want to see what they have, and the other one I just like to do my regular shopping in. So that's where we're going first. I don't know what we're going to make for dinner yet. It'll probably be due to what we find in the supermarket. So come along and I'll show you some of the things that I'd like to pick up as staples for the Mediterranean diet when we get inside. Thanks. So you see all this green decorations? This is not for St. Patrick's Day. This is because the Eagles are in the Super Bowl. The farm looks when it's closed. That's not snow. That's a protective coating that they put on some of the delicate things that are still growing. Well, first store shopping out of the way, and we bought turnip greens, mustard greens, and dandelion greens. They have a beautiful green section there, and the whole thing only cost $3.07. So that's the best part about buying vegetables, because they're super nutritious and they hardly cost anything. So if you need to save money, buy vegetables. Now we're on our way to the second store where I like to do most of my grocery shopping. So I'll show you when we get there. So this is my favorite section. The Cento section. So the kind of things I like to stock up on are things like beans. So as you can see, they're 3 for $4. So I'm gonna get some cannellini beans and probably some chickpeas. So things like roasted peppers and capers and these really hot peppers and cherry peppers. They're a really good way to dress up a dish. Well, I'm going to get some marinated mushrooms because I like to put these in my Italian tuna salad. Got to stock up on some pasta. So here's some thin spaghetti and some thicker spaghetti. I like the thin one. I don't like angel hair as much as I just like the regular thin spaghetti, so it's just normal spaghetti. There's all kinds of shapes here. The little ones are usually for things like soup. Look how cute these are. The shells are fun. The different shapes are for different kinds of sauces that you make. Sometimes they have ridges like this, and they hold sauce in a different way than the smooth ones do. This is always fun. Now there are different quality levels of pasta too. So what I was showing you there, they're all like $1 a bag, and they're great for every day. But if you want to make a special dish where the pasta is really featured, I like to get a brand that's a little more expensive like this. I mean, it's not super expensive, it's only $2.89. But like if I'm making something where it's just spaghetti with olive oil and garlic, I use something like this because you really want to taste the flavor of the pasta. So if you want to go shopping for the Mediterranean diet in preparation, you want to definitely have olive oil. Now I buy 2 kinds of olive oil. You can buy any brand you want, but this is regular olive oil and then extra virgin olive oil. Now regular is better for cooking, because extra virgin has a lower heat point and it smokes right away. So extra virgin is great for dipping or drizzling on things, or adding flavor to things and for salads and things. But if you're going to cook something, you want to use the regular olive oil. So another staple of Italian cooking is crushed tomatoes, or you can get whole tomatoes, and definitely tomato paste to thicken things up. So when I talk about the Mediterranean diet, mostly I cook Italian food, but the Mediterranean spans Greece and Israel and Spain and all the countries that border the Mediterranean. I happen to be Italian and I prefer Italian food, but we are going to try to mix it up this month and make all kinds of things. A lot of people just think Greek food when they think Mediterranean, but this is going to be mostly Italian because that's just what I like. But I do like Greek food too, especially Greek salads and different ways that they prepare chicken and fish and things like that. So we're going to try to mix it up for you this month, so hopefully you will enjoy it. So if you don't eat a lot of meat like me, beans are your friend. So here are some pinto beans. Look how pretty these black beans are. So shiny. And here's some chickpeas. So you can buy them in a can, you can buy them like this, where you have to soak them to soften them up. And grains are also going to be your friend. So there's quinoa, and there's different kinds of rices. Actually, I need to get some arborio rice because I like to make risotto as well. And here's some split peas, a bean medley, lots of bean soup mixes. So arborio rice is great for risotto. Oh, look at that pearl couscous. Isn't that beautiful? I love jasmine rice too. And here's some regular couscous, the tiny kind. There's some red quinoa, some tricolor quinoa, different kinds of rice blends. This is a good aisle. I also like to keep broth around. So I like to keep chicken broth and vegetable stock around. I also love bread, and I like to come get it in the bakery section of the supermarket, or actually go to a bakery. So here's a whole grain artisan loaf. I love this kind of seeded bread for breakfast, toasted. And there's some other, there's like a rosemary olive bread. There's a pugliese bread. I really like that one too. A staple of any Mediterranean diet, some nice garlic. And shallots are great for adding flavor to things too. It's definitely winter vegetable season here. So these are rutabagas. These are gigantic rutabagas. You can tell them because they have like a natural waxy coating on them. There's some parsnips here, and one of my favorites is turnips. Maybe we'll make some turnip soup. Let's get some turnips. So here's some soup starter kits. If you want to make vegetable soup, it has a turnip in it, a couple of onions, some herbs. Looks like there's a parsnip and some celery, maybe some leek. And then here's some soup herbs with a chili pepper and some fresh herbs in there. What does it say? Leek, thyme, parsley, and a hot pepper. Ooh, I'm definitely getting this. I also love fennel. Fennel is so good. You can just slice it up and put it in a salad, and it has like that anisey flavor. Or if you cook it, it gets really mellow. So it's good cooked or raw. It's so good for you too. They've really expanded their organic section. I'm very happy about that. Prices are good too. I always like to have mushrooms around too because it's so easy to make a meal out of mushrooms. So if you don't know what to cook, you can just throw them into pasta or in some rice, and they just add a nice flavor. Or add them into eggs. What should I get? I usually like creamy these. So I don't really have a ton of stuff in my cart, but I think it's a good start. Oh, one more thing before we go, I'm going to get some baby arugula. I love the flavor of arugula, and I love to mix it with white beans and make a little lemon vinaigrette salad, or just throw a little bit of this in any kind of salad, and it really just spices it up a little bit. So do you think this city is excited, or what? For the Super Bowl. So for lunch, yesterday I bought this harvest salad at the farm, and it's all pre-chopped and everything. There's a little feta cheese in there, some carrots, some walnuts, some craisins, and some mixed greens. I'm going to make my own dressing for it, just out of white wine vinegar and olive oil. And that is today's lunch. created a marinade of oregano, salt and pepper, some crushed garlic, some vinegar, and some olive oil. And we made thinly sliced medallions of chicken, and we just tossed it all together, and we're going to let that sit for a while. So it took about 10 minutes to do all the preparations for this, and now it's just going to sit for a while. And we're going to bake it later. It's a Spanish chicken dish that we're making, and you'll see as it progresses. Just rough chopped some red onion, some little cherry heirloom tomatoes, cut up some Mediterranean olives, there's some chopped garlic, and that red pepper that I bought in the soup fixings today. And there's some celery as well. And this is going to go around the chicken in a casserole, and you'll see as it progresses. What we're going to do now is take these individual pieces of chicken and put them into this Pyrex dish. And then what we're going to do is, with the juice that's remaining in this bowl, we're going to add a little white wine and a tiny bit of honey and mix that up, and then we're going to pour it over the chicken in the casserole dish. That's all we have, so that's all we're using. We're going to bake this in the oven at 350 degrees, uncovered, for about 45 minutes. Well, now that we gave the chicken a little bit of a head start, which actually translates to we forgot to do this step, we're now going to add all these vegetables on top of the chicken and put it back in the oven. All the ones that we just chopped. That looks really good. All those colors. So just kind of spread them out so there's not too much of anything in one position. We're a little more than halfway through, so we're giving everything a little bit of a toss. And then it's going back in the oven. Also boiling a little bit of salted water because we're going to prepare some of the greens that we bought today. We're going to make the mustard greens. And here are the mustard greens, all freshly washed. We're going to blanch them and then we're going to chop them up a little bit. So now that we've blanched the mustard greens, we chopped them up a little. We're going to cut up some more garlic. We're going to saute that together for a little bit in a frying pan. And we're going to add that to some pasta, and then the chicken goes over it. So that's the gist of the dinner, and I'll show you as we go along. Just add a little red pepper flakes and a little oregano. Look how those greens well done. Well, that's it at 45 minutes, but I think we're going to give it a few more. Was super delicious. I know that recipe seemed a little bit complicated, but I wanted to start the month off with a bang and really go for a Mediterranean recipe. So that was in one of my Mediterranean cookbooks. It was a Spanish recipe. I didn't follow it exactly. Sometimes I just take inspiration from the cookbooks, and because it called for some fruit and I just didn't think it would go with the other flavors, and at least not to my taste anyway. It was really tasty, the chicken with all those flavors together. were just incredible. So I hope you try it. I know it took a little bit of time because you have to cook it for about 45 to 50 minutes, but it was really worth it. And it had some prep time, just some chopping. So probably twice I chopped for 10 minutes. So we did the prep work in the beginning that took about 10 minutes, and then we did another set of chopping that took about another 10 minutes. And then there's a waiting period because you have to marinate it. So you could always do the marinade in the morning or the night before, and then just you can save yourself a little bit of time that way. So I hope you enjoyed today's recipes, and I'll show you some of my cookbooks tomorrow because I have a lot that I'm going to be relying on this month, and I have some new ones, and it's always nice to get some inspiration from somewhere. So thank you for watching, and I will see you tomorrow.